All right. So quantum computing stocks have exploded over the last year. We can talk about IO and Q. We can talk about D-Wave Quantum. We can talk about Rigetti Computing, all seeing huge investor interest. Um, but one company is actually doing something very different from everyone else. And that might actually be its biggest advantage. And unlike most quantum companies chasing the dream of universal quantum computers, years into the future, D-Wave is already selling systems, already generating revenue, and uh, already solving real business problems. So today I will go into D-Wave Quantum stock and what it actually does and why investors are suddenly caring again and their newest products, their biggest customers, and the latest news that could make this one of the most interesting stocks in quantum computing. So, quantum computing, when most people hear the term quantum computing, so what they think it is some sort of machine, magical machine that just solves every problem instantly. But that's not what D-Wave Quantum builds, okay? What D-Wave Quantum actually builds is a purely on gate model quantum computers. So instead of focusing on purely on gate model quantum computers like IBM or Google or IONQ, D-Wave became famous for something called quantum annealing. Okay, quantum annealing. Think of it like this. So if normal computers are excellent at following instructions, okay, quantum annealers are specialists at finding the best answer among billions or trillions of possible combinations. All right. Imagine trying to optimize airline schedules, factory production, or delivery routes, investment portfolios, or supply chains. These are incredibly difficult to to optimize, right? That's where D-Wave focuses. And instead of trying to replace every computer on Earth, they're trying to dominate one extremely valuable niche. And that's important because optimization is a multi-billion-dollar market. Here's the reason why they are different. So they are interesting because they're just no longer an annealing company. They've just expanded into what they call a dual platform strategy. This means that they now develop annealing quantum computers for optimization problems, and they have also started something called a gate model quantum computing for broad quantum applications. So that gives them exposure to both the technology they're already known for and the future of universal quantum computing. So CEO, which is Alan Barretts, right? He's the CEO of this company. And he said that they don't think customers should have chose between approaches. Instead, customers should be able to use whichever quantum technology solves their problem fastest. So we're going to look into what they actually sell. So by the way, this is a chart of the company. It has had some crazy rides. Back in the days, we've seen prices from $13 reaching all the way to $31 a share. We did see here in 2025 how this stock exploded to nearly $46 a share. We have seen some crazy previous price spikes in the quantum era. We have seen how companies like this became from penny stock. You can see in 2023 this company went 601% up from May to July. It's such an amazing buying opportunities sometimes in these quantum computing stocks that when you catch them, you can make a tremendous amount of money. Here you can see you had a extreme quantum era 2024. You have 2.38 billion shares traded from November 24 to December 24. Imagine in such 1 month you had 2.38 billion volume and you had an 807% spike. This can happen over and over again. Company overall has really delivered. The company, in fact, is up nearly more than 1,000%, and it peaked up nearly 3,000%. So there are some extreme price swings in these companies, which is just purely amazing when you really think about it. And so it's just wonderful. But back to what they're actually doing. So they have this thing called I think it's called the Advantage 2 system. The Advantage 2 system. This is their newest generation quantum annealing computer. Compared to previous systems, it offers lower noise, better qubit connectivity, higher solution quality, faster optimization, meaning it can solve larger and more complex optimization problems. For companies working on logistics, manufacturing, or scheduling, that's exactly what matters, okay? And then they have Leap Quantum Cloud. You don't actually need to buy the hardware. Instead, companies can access D-Wave through the cloud using Leap. Think AWS, but for quantum computing. Developers can write programs, run them remotely, pay for usage. That dramatically lowers the barrier for companies experimenting with quantum computing. And then they have something called the Ocean software. This is interesting. So they provide an open source development toolkit called Ocean. So it helps programmers convert real world optimization problems into quantum ready algorithms. This software ecosystem is important because hardware alone isn't enough, okay? You need developers building applications. And so the solutions here is one thing investors often overlook is the solution section of the D-Wave's website. So instead of selling quantum computers, they sell business outcomes, okay? And what's interesting here is their technology targets many industries, from manufacturing to logistics, faster delivery routes, reducing fuel costs, managing warehouses, financial services, risk analysis in financial services, portfolio optimization, fraud detection, government and defense, resource allocation, planning, scheduling, drug discovery research, hybrid quantum classic computing, etc. They aren't just asking companies to buy quantum computers because they're cool. They're asking businesses, can we save you millions of dollars by optimizing your operations? And so for the latest sort of news, they have recently listed they will list to NASDAQ. I believe it is 27th July, which is in 2 days. They will list on 27 July, if I'm not incorrect here, on a NASDAQ. So they will transition from the NYSE to NASDAQ. That doesn't change the business itself, but it often increases the visibility among technology, okay? Investors and aligns the company more closely with other high growth tech stocks. Upcoming earnings in 12 days. We will watch closely. So again, this is speculative. We don't know exactly what will happen, but we will watch revenue growth, bookings, new customer wins, cash positions, because in quantum computing, investors care as much about commercial adoption as scientific breakthroughs. So the bull case here is they aren't just waiting to 2030. They already have paying customers, cloud services, enterprise software, quantum hardware, optimization solutions. So if this quantum computing becomes even a small part of enterprise software, they have a significant head start in optimization. The risks, of course, is because there are so many quantum computer companies that are focusing on it. We have Google that focuses on quantum computing, IBM, IonQ, Rigetti, Quantinuum, Microsoft. So we don't know for sure which one will dominate, but it is truly a fascinating company to look into. I find it very fascinating to look into this company. And I mean, we will see what happens, but I just think it's such an interesting company to look into. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions, any ideas. And do you invest in D-Wave Quantum or not? Make sure to comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.